So, MVP turns heel. What? If there's one thing that I did like about this episode of TNA is that they are actually establishing their World Heavyweight Championship match at their next pay-per-view event, big original TNA pay-per-view Slammiversary, whereas what they done as Sacrifice, they practically threw their world title picture right under the bus. So I actually applaud TNA for building up your main event for Slammiversary. How they done it, however, is a whole different story, brother. Now, the show kicked off with Eric Young come out and he cut a promo, basically talking about being a fighting champion. And he issues an open challenge. He wants to book himself into a World Heavyweight Championship match. Out comes Bobby Roode. He answers the call and says that he will be the one to become the new World Heavyweight Champion after tonight. Eric Young reminds him that he was the number one contender last week and that he lost, but Bobby Roode came back and mentioned that he already went to war before he faced Eric Young with Gunner. And basically what this goes into is that they go into the whole history thing, and this is one of those cliche moments in promos where you have two guys talking, one's a heel, one's a babyface, and one of them talks about history. It's very cliched, I think, when it comes to promo work. I don't know, they might need to step away from this for a while, but I will take an exception with this because there is a lot of history between the two of them. You have the whole mentioning Team Canada, being on the road for 17 years, and have to put up with each other's crap pretty much. And so with that being said, I really like the promo work. This was a solid opener, and here you have Bobby Roode saying, I just need one more shot to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Eric Young accepts and they shake on it. So this, like I said, this was a good solid opener to the show with a cliche moment with the history. So I'm not really complaining overall. It's just that how the show ended, oh boy. Get ready for a rant. But before I get to that, the next match on the show is the beautiful people, Angelina Love, the new Knockouts champion, and Velvet Sky taking on Brittany and Madison Rayne in an evening gown match. Going into this match, it felt like there was a little miscommunication going on. It was poorly presented because we as the audience did know going into it, it was going to be an elimination style match. Even the announcers were confused to what the heck was going on. It was just weird. But the match itself, this definitely had Vince Russo written all over it. This was trash all over. This had the word trash written all over it in a good and bad way. How you want to see how it is. Here you had Velvet stripping Brittany. Brittany gets eliminated. You have Madison Rayne stripping Velvet Sky. And then it was Angelina Love and Madison going at it. Velvet Sky comes back out with the towel on, distracts the ref, opens up, flashes, and he's getting a huge boner, you can tell. And his name is Stifler not for nothing, to be quite honest. That was funny as hell. And here you have Angelina Love capitalizing and pinning Madison Rayne 1, 2, 3, and this was one of those matches. You know what? Just get the idea of a match that has hardly any wrestling in it and it feels really trashy. Thumbs up, absolutely for sure. And you also have a series of events And to me, this was the highlight of the show, where you have Bully Ray. He's about to go into Dixie Carter's office. Things happen, shenanigans happen. Here you have Rockstar Spud trying to get Bully Ray to not go in there, because Dixie Carter earlier on said that, I hope you maintain control of my office, Rockstar Spud, stuff like that, etc., etc. Here you have Bully Ray coming in and going into Dixie's office, lifting up a couple of pictures. Here's Rockstar Spud bouncing off of him. And Bully Ray comments on his green socks, and Bully Ray sits down in Dixie's chair, gets on the phone. Hey, I'm the new president of TNA. Give me a sandwich. And there's going to be a meeting later on tonight on the show. Hangs up the phone, and here you have the crew meeting with the shirts that says Bully Fears Dixie, and that all turned into new different kind of shirts, and they were on Bully's side, and our new slogan is tables, tables, and in comes Rockstar Spud on top of the table, and he says, quiet! I want Bully Ray gone out of here. Bully Ray says, okay, I'll leave if you drink a beer with me. And he pours him the drink, lifts him up, puts him through a table, and they were just completely silent. And there was no ooh, yay, or whatever. But then Bully Ray comes back and says, what's our motto? Tables, tables. This to me was the highlight of this show. This was great. This was outstanding. This was entertaining, to say the very least. And I love how Bully Ray's character bounces off with Rockstar Spud's character. The two of them, their chemistry was so on par. It was so well done. It was just great to see. Like I said, this was the highlight of the show. Speaking of highlights, another thing that happened on the show that I like to talk about now instead of later is the ladder match for the tag team titles. Here you have the Wolves versus the Bromans, and this is the Bromans rematch for their tag team titles. And this, like I said, was the match of the night. Great match. You had a couple of big moments in this match. One in particular, Davey Richards double foot stomp onto Robbie E while he's laying flat on the table outside the ring. And also when Zima Ion came in, he was up on the ladder. The Wolves were already on top. They flip him over and they land on the Bromance outside the ring. Couple of great moments. There was one cringe-worthy moment where one guy suplexed the other guy in the ring from outside to the ring. It just looked bad. I was like, oh, I look terrible. It was really exciting, really entertaining. My only criticism is that it wasn't a pay-per-view quality kind of match, but it was still a great match. And it was, to me, enough to make this match really special. And here you have the Wolves go over, established as the tag team champions, and everything about that match was absolutely great, really outstanding. Here you also had Kurt Angle versus Ethan Carter III, and this match was felt like it was just there on the show. Here you had Kurt Angle nail 3 German suplexes on Ethan Carter III, and then all of a sudden Kurt Angle favors his knee and down he goes, and you could tell this is kind of acting because it's just the way he was. It didn't look like he twisted his knee or anything like that. It was just, you can tell it was obvious that this was a work the entire time throughout this entire match. It was just so there. It was so cliche, so predictable. And here you have Ethan Carter come back and pin Kurt Angle in a very anticlimactic ending. And like I said, this was one of those matches where I felt like it wasn't either good or bad because it wasn't long enough to make me determine that this was going to be a good or bad match. It was just meh. It was just one of those kind of matches and felt anticlimactic. And I think after that, I don't think Kurt Angle will be wrestling anymore. I think he should retire right now, and it's that time. The one thing I do hope now is, like I said, Kurt Angle retiring and EC3 moving on to a new feud, a new rivalry, to something different. That's what I hope here coming out of that. We also saw MVP coming out. He was about to make the #1 contender's decision to Eric Young's World Heavyweight Championship, but out came Bobby Roode. And he was really upset and mad over what happened later on, because MVP told Eric Young that, you know what, you don't make any matches because I'm the manager of wrestling operations. I'm the one that makes the matches, and I'm calling off the match with you and Bobby Roode. And out comes Bobby Roode, who's selling his frustrations very well. I thought he was on par, he was on point in this promo as well. And it said that he already had a match booked, and MVP came back and said, you know what, Bobby Roode, I don't make any handouts. You have to earn your spot. And Bobby Roode comes back and says, where were you when I was fighting Gunner last week? Where were you when I was here for 10 years? And so he gave that kind of speech to MVP, and he was making a valid argument here. And then one thing led to another. Basically, an altercation comes into full force with Bobby Roode and MVP. The Bobby Roode pushes MVP pushes back. Two of them are going at it, and then people from the crew come in and hold the two of them back. And this is getting really heated up and things like that. It's going really well so far. And the funny thing is, while I was watching this and what was going on earlier on in the show, it just felt like the way MVP was acting was foreshadowing that he was going to turn heel. I wonder what's going to happen at the end of the show. Interesting. But before I get to that, I want to talk about the Menagerie, if it's even pronounced that way. Oh God. I mean, how in the world does Knox go from a group of aces and eights to another group of 3 guys and a girl? Weird. What happened was, it was Knox going one-on-one with Frankie Kazarian. I'm like, oh my God. This whole circus gimmick is one thing, but putting Knox into another group while he was already in another group is a completely different thing. There's no advancing in your career points going on here. And another thing that's going on is that you have Kazarian being reduced to jobbing out to Knox. Oh my God. And not only that, the fans are not even reacting to this whole circus clown gimmick stuff. Here you have Crazy Steve and the Freak, and we all know this guy's Rod Terry underneath that whatever that thing is he has on his head. And the only good thing about this group is that woman who does these leg splits on the ropes. I don't know what to make of this. This was so weird. What in the world was I watching? That's pretty much all I have to say. And also on the show you had Magnus going one-on-one with Willow. And here you have this new guy that TNA put on the show. What was it? A week or 2 weeks ago. I have been watching TNA. Sorry I never done any reviews, by the way, but I have been watching, and I've watched this guy Graham come on the scene backstage, something different, and he's apparently a old friend of Magnus. He goes back from his childhood. And here you have Magnus versus Willow in a okay match, I guess. And the funny thing is that how Willow sells. I'll get to that in a bit, but really, this match was a way to establish this new character of Graham. What happened was that Willow was having the match winning over Magnus. Willow was on the apron. Graham pulls him down, rams him through the steel steps, throws him back in the ring, grabs the this weapon underneath the ring, this old metal turnbuckle kind of thing. He hits Willow with it, and the way Willow sells it, he's still going. I'm like, oh my god, that's some way to sell a hit from a steel turnbuckle thingy. That's funny as hell. And here you have Magnus for some reason questioning what he's doing. Weird. It was just a weird way to establish someone on the show. It's very different, but I don't know if I can get on board with it right away, because to me, this Graham guy, this new guy, looks just too much like Gunner. Even though he doesn't look like him in the face, but the beard though, it's very similar. I'm like, dude, I think you should shave that. But overall, I guess this was a way to establish someone in a different kind of way, a unique kind of way, something we never seen before, and I guess they've done an okay job with it. You could be the judge. And then we get to the main event of the show. Oh boy. MVP is about to make his decision to let Eric Young know who he will be facing for the championship at Slammiversary. He calls out EY to let him know who it is, and out comes the opponent. Eric Young turns to the entrance, no music. And MVP says, well, you know what? I guess he won't come out because I'm already in the ring. Hits him. Hits Eric Young over the head with the microphone and says that I'm the challenger for your world championship, and he turns heel. And you want to know what my reaction to this was? What the hell? TNA! Oh my God almighty. Take it as you wish. It's just one of those things. Yeah, you could probably say, oh, we didn't see this coming. Oh, you could probably say, this was very predictable. Of course it was. This was predictable. We saw this coming. We knew this was going to happen. You can just see it in MVP's facial expressions even before he already done it. Oh my God. What? And not only that, what is TNA doing now? What they're practically doing here is ripping off the Daniel Bryan Triple H storyline, the WrestleMania thing, and now they want to one-up WWE for some stupid fucked up reason. I don't even know what in the world they're trying to do, but they're doing a heck of a good job to making me not like this at all. Oh man. I mean, wasn't this the same MVP that came in to TNA and said that Dixie was abusing her power, and I want to make change to TNA and to get rid of Dixie Carter? We don't need someone who's being a big boss and bullying people around, etc., etc. This is the same MVP that said all that? Oh my God. What bizarro TNA world did I just watch? I have no words. No words. No freaking words. I'm done. I'm gone. I'm sorry. I just can't get behind this at all. But I will say this. The execution of it, yeah, you could say this was well done. MVP turns heel. He does work well as a heel. He does. But this is some stupid TNA twisted logic that I just can't get behind. Oh, man. I guess we'll see what happens next week. What's MVP's explanation going to be? I have no idea. But I hope it's a damn good one, because the ending of this TNA Impact sucked balls. This sucked the life out of this episode. And it was going not half bad. It was just... I just knew it was leading up to this. I'm like, no. Oh, you did it. Fuck you, TNA. Oh, God. I'm just going to end this video off right now. If you saw this episode of TNA Impact, feel free to comment below and let me know. And what did you think of this show? And what did you think about the ending as well? While you're at it, you can hit that subscribe button down below this video. You can follow MRB Wrestling on Twitter. And you can like us on Facebook at the Mick Rock and Bolt Wrestling Review Show. I just can't get over how terrible this ending was. Oh my God. But with that being said, to all you viewers watching, get plenty of rest and always do your best.